Rahul Gandhi's debut as leader of opposition. First LOP in Lok Sabha after 10 years. BJP snipes points at Rahul Gandhi's record.
कि वे पाकिस्तान और चाइना जो हमारे दुश्मन मुल्क हैं, उनके प्रवक्ता के रूप में काम करते हुए देश ने देखा है, तो उनसे उम्मीद है कि वे प्रतिपक्ष के नेता के रूप में सदन में काम करें।
Leader of opposition in Parliament, Rahul Gandhi says, will represent people's voice.
This time, the opposition represents significantly more voice of the Indian people than it did last year.
Stage set for Rahul versus PM, Parliament showdown. Rahul reloaded as LOP is our top focus on the Newstrack. So Rahul Gandhi, day one as leader of opposition, saw the Congress leader in a different attire. A departure from his rather well-known now white t-shirt and trousers to the more traditional kurta, a khadi kurta. But his speech is being described as measured yet combative. He spoke of opposition's responsibility to protect the constitution. Speaker Om Birla recounted the dark days of emergency imposed by the Congress party in 1975 when the constitution was trampled. And has this then set the stage for the battles ahead? We get to that story. Also on the show, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal remanded to 3 days in CBI custody in the Delhi excise case. CBI claims it has evidence of a money trail in the Delhi liquor scam. The Aam Aadmi Party insists this is political vendetta. We get to this story also on the show. I'm Gaurav Sawant as always. Let's get started with the headlines. Emergency showdown in Parliament escalates. Speaker Om Birla says dictatorship was imposed by Indira Gandhi. The BJP protests outside the Parliament. The Congress says Narendra Modi government has unleashed undeclared emergency. Om Birla is back in the Speaker's chair for the second time. Rahul Gandhi takes the non-democratic jibe, says the Speaker should allow the opposition to speak. CBI gets 3 days custody of Arvind Kejriwal in the Liquorgate case. The agency claims 45 crore scam money trail has been established. The Aam Aadmi Party says Arvind Kejriwal's arrest exemplifies dictatorship in India. Tamil Nadu, huge tragedy. Death toll mounts to 63. AIADMK MLAs suspended from the assembly amidst raging protests. Stalin government to reply to the Madras High Court in 10 days. CBI cracks down on NEET scam suspects. Principal of a Jharkhand school from where the question paper allegedly leaked has been held after interrogation. Hunt on for the mastermind Sanjeev Mukhya still absconding. Day one of Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition in Lok Sabha saw the Congress leader in a traditional white kurta pajama and not his favorite t-shirt and trousers. But is the change more than just the attire, given the huge responsibility on the shoulders of the leader of opposition? And he spoke of it. The opposition, he said, also represents the voice of the people, and it's significantly more than last time. Congratulating Speaker Om Birla on his re-election as Speaker, Rahul Gandhi said that the opposition would assist him in doing his work, but sought the opposition's voice also be allowed. Our political bureau with our top story.
The opposition represents significantly more voice of the Indian people than it did last year. It is very important that the voice of the opposition is allowed to be represented in this House.
He's traded in his trademark white t-shirt for a crisp kurta. As he rebrands himself as the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi's debut as leader of opposition was promising. In his first constitutional role, he sent a sharp message to the newly elected Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla.
It is very important that the voice of the opposition is allowed to be represented in this House. I am confident that you will allow us to represent our voice, allow us to speak. This election has shown that the people of India expect the opposition to defend the Constitution, the Samvidhan of this country.
As leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi is now equivalent to a cabinet minister in rank. So when the speaker was elected, he was called in by Prime Minister Modi to congratulate Om Birla. Rahul and Prime Minister Modi then shook hands themselves and escorted Om Birla to the speaker chair. While the India bloc hailed Rahul Gandhi on assuming the new role,
राहुल गांधी उनको बधाई देता हूं एलओपी बनने के लिए और हम सब विपक्ष के लोग मिलकर के काम करेंगे, सत्ता पक्ष से जवाब मांगेंगे।
राहुल गांधी जी ने एज एन एलओपी कहा है, वो हम सबकी मन की बात है कि अब जो होगा जन की बात होगी, जनाधार पे होगी और जनाधार के हिसाब से विपक्ष को भी इतनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी दी है जितनी सत्ता पक्ष ने।
the BJP is pointing to Rahul's parliament record and has branded him a third-time failure.
तीसरा लोकसभा है जब मैं देख रहा हूं उनको। पहले 14 में उन्होंने रफेल चिल्लाया, फिर माफी मांगा कोर्ट में, फिर अदानी अंबानी चिल्लाया, अब संविधान जो कांग्रेस पार्टी इमरजेंसी में संविधान को तोड़ मरोड़ दिया।
Rahul is the third member of the Gandhi family to become the leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha. Now all eyes are on the Gandhi scion. With Maushami Singh and Piyush Mishra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And my colleague and India Today's consultant editor Rajdeep Sardesai now joins me on this special broadcast to talk about Rahul Gandhi 3.0 or Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition day one. But before that, let's just quickly cut across and listen in to Rahul Gandhi. He's just spoken on his role as leader of opposition in Parliament. Listen in.
नमस्कार। देश की जनता को, कांग्रेस पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं को, इंडिया गठबंधन के सब नेताओं को मैं दिल से धन्यवाद करता हूं। मुझे किसी ने पूछा मेरे लिए एलओपी का क्या मतलब है। एलओपी आपकी आवाज है, आपका औजार है। जो भी आपके दिल में भावना है, आपकी समस्याएं हैं, एलओपी के माध्यम से मैं लोकसभा में आपके लिए उठाऊंगा। हिंदुस्तान के गरीब लोग, दलित, आदिवासी, पिछड़े, अल्पसंख्यक, किसान, मजदूर, मैं आपका हूं। संविधान से आपकी रक्षा होती है। जहां भी सरकार ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर आक्रमण किया, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को सप्रेस करने की कोशिश की, वहां पूरे दम से संविधान की हम पूरी तरीके से रक्षा करेंगे। मैं आपका हूं, आपकी आवाज मैं संसद में उठाऊंगा। नमस्कार।
And I quickly want to bring in Rajdeep. Rajdeep, what do you make of what he's just said and his speech in Lok Sabha?
Look, it's first day, first show, Gaurav, but some of us have been critical of Rahul Gandhi. I remember in my 2014 book saying that Rahul Gandhi has never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. And one of those opportunities was to become the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, both in 2014 and 19. Congress didn't have enough numbers at the time, but the fact was Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and Mallikarjun Kharge took the post, which Rahul Gandhi could well have. I think by doing what he has, he's shown that he's willing to take the responsibility. If you look at his first day, first speech, the very fact that he's alluding repeatedly to the word constitution, it's become in a way the new mantra. Both in that video that you just showed as well as in the speech in Parliament, he seems to believe that the Congress's strategy in the Lok Sabha election ki Samvidhan khatre mein hai, work, people gravitated towards it, particularly Dalits, and he believes that that is the way forward to, in a way, position himself as someone who's challenging an allegedly authoritarian regime. So I think that's going to be his path forward. The question is, will he be able to galvanize not just himself but the entire opposition to speak in one voice
and thereby be in a position to challenge the treasury benches. Because, you know, Gaurav, at the end of the day, the BJP has, and with its allies, more than 293 MPs, while the opposition, all said and done, has a smaller number. So while the opposition may have more, the Congress itself has only 99.
Okay.
So when you have 99 on one side and the BJP 240, the Congress needs all its allies on board, and Rahul Gandhi will have to play that role of being a magnet who can bring these allies together if he is to truly succeed as leader of the opposition. Not just as leader of the Congress now, he will have to be leader of the opposition.
Now, if we were to see what's happened so far, this was day one as LOP, but in the past couple of days, was it Rahul Gandhi was leading the charge on the election of a speaker, putting up another candidate? And when you say he has to take the opposition along, the Trinamool Congress wasn't on board until this morning when he reached out to Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee.
Well, you see, I think that precisely is one of the challenges that Rahul Gandhi will have. Remember, in the elections that took place, Lok Sabha elections, the Congress fought with the left against Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress, even though they were supposedly part of the India alliance. The Congress will have to decide how will it deal, for example, with the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party is taking on an agitation in Delhi on water. The Congress hasn't joined it. In fact, there have been voices within the Congress critical of the Aam Aadmi Party's handling of it. So Rahul Gandhi is going to have to decide, am I the leader now of the India alliance, of the entire opposition, or am I establishing myself first as the Congress leader who wants to rebuild his own party? And somewhere those contradictions will come, as we saw even on the speaker's election. And I think Rahul Gandhi's challenge, therefore, is while he's earned the respect now, I believe, of the Congress party and the Congress rank and file, can he do likewise with the rest of the opposition and take them together? Let's be honest, Gaurav, the Congress would not have won as many seats as they did in Uttar Pradesh without Samajwadi Party playing a very proactive role. It's the Samajwadi Party which drove that alliance in UP. Now, how much space will you give an Akhilesh Yadav? Mamata Banerjee, all said and done, is Neta #1 in Bengal. MK Stalin in Tamil Nadu. In Maharashtra, Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray will want equal space. So I think Rahul Gandhi will have to learn the art of coalition building. The age of Ekla Chalore is over, whether you're in the government or whether you're in the opposition.
If we were to stay on the issue of the election of the speaker, the Congress party put up its own candidate, or the opposition alliance candidate. So let me not come on the TMC for a moment. But even when the Congress said it will be K. Suresh, then they didn't press on division of numbers, a division of votes. Now, how do you look at that? Was this a strategy, or was this a strategy that wasn't thought through?
Look, I think there is a huge trust deficit that exists between the treasury benches and the opposition. You're seeing that photograph of the Prime Minister shaking hands with Rahul Gandhi, but we know there is no love lost there. And I think part of the problem is that the Congress wants the government to concede greater space for the opposition in Parliament, so demanded virtually the Deputy Speaker's post. The BJP didn't give any commitment on it. Once they didn't give the commitment on it, the Congress felt that we need to take a stand and we'll fight and contest the Speaker's post. The reality set in late last night, possibly this morning. They don't have the numbers. Why give
that set in just late last night?
No. I think they didn't want to give the government the opportunity on the floor of the House to prove that they have 300 plus, as they could have with maybe bringing parties like the YSRCP on board. So having made the limited point that this opposition will not roll over like the previous one did, where you didn't even have a deputy speaker for 5 years, I think the Congress decided, whether it's unilaterally or in alliance is a question mark, let's not press for a division. Okay. Let's for now strategically accept that the government has the majority, it's their speaker, and hopefully live to fight another day and hope that a deputy speaker's post is given to the party. So I think part of the problem is the Congress sometimes behaves with 99 seats as if they've got 272, and Narendra Modi with 240 seats tends to behave as if he's got 400. I think both of them need to pull back. The government needs to realize this is not a majority government, and the opposition needs to realize that they are still in no position to be anywhere close to being a majority government.
But they are a majority government with India with 293
No,
on
BJP
their
doesn't.
own.
The BJP does
doesn't.
not have a majority.
Yes.
You see,
But
there is a huge difference between...
Pre-poll alliance does.
No, there is a huge difference between getting 300 plus seats on your own and
True.
getting 240.
Oh, absolutely.
At 240, you are dependent on allies. You went into the election of 2024 claiming 400 par. You've got 160 seats less than 400 par now. Either way, as I said, both sides, the arrogance and the sense of entitlement on both sides has to end. You can't believe that you are a majority BJP government, because you're not. And the Congress cannot believe that it is a government in waiting, because you're only at 99, which is a long way away from being 272.
So how do you see this pan out in the weeks ahead? And will there be a big issue over Deputy Speaker in your appreciation?
No, I think what is very clear, Gaurav, is the issues now that the opposition has, and the numbers they have in Parliament have given them the opportunity to encircle the government on those issues. The NEET issue, the Agniveer issue, the issue of railway accidents, the issue of Manipur. All of these, now the voice will be much louder. Whether it will be more chaotic, possibly. But I would say in general, Gaurav, the opposition has the opportunity, and so does Rahul Gandhi, to show that you can be a constructive opposition, but at the same time be an aggressive opposition encircling the government. I think Narendra Modi will push also in his own way to try and ensure that he retains his rutba or Iqbal, as Neta number one. But there comes a stage where even if you're Neta number one, you have to start having co-stars, or you have to start giving your rival star some space. I think in a strange way what you're seeing is that Rahul Gandhi now is getting almost as much space as Narendra Modi in Parliament. Today it was interesting in that sense. A lot of the chatter, including your show, is about Rahul Gandhi. Even though Mr. Modi is the one who led the speeches and in praise of... It almost seems as if Rahul Gandhi becoming leader of the opposition has suddenly catapulted him into another space where he's been pitched against Mr. Modi.
After 10 years, there is a leader of opposition. For 10 years, there wasn't one.
Absolutely.
But has the first battle ended in a defeat for the opposition, in the sense that they led the battle for a speaker, and then was it a damp squib?
Look, I think the government has the numbers. It was ridiculous to expect that the government was going to concede at this early stage to the opposition. I think both sides are sensing each other out. The opposition pushed and has had to pull back a bit. The government is pushing further and seeing how much more space can we get, how much more can we do. Look, remember the last session of the first session of 2019, Article 370 was abrogated. Second session, Citizenship Amendment Act was brought in. There was a sense of legislative action on the part of the Modi government then. Will we see that this time? Will the government be willing to enter those contentious areas like Uniform Civil Code? Or has the government decided, we are also going to wait and see just how far the opposition can really push? You're right that on the Speaker's post, the government has ensured that there is a certain Lakshman Rekha. You can't demand at the moment the Deputy Speaker's post. We'll wait and see. Maybe they'll make an ally of the NDA, a Deputy Speaker. So I think both sides are sizing each other up. I believe that you will face a much more confrontational Lok Sabha, certainly. And therefore, we will have to wait and see how Maharashtra, Haryana elections turn out in October. And that will give us a sense. If the opposition wins those elections, they'll be far more assertive and aggressive. If the Modi government wins them, you can expect the Prime Minister to slowly get back his rutba, or his, this sense of authority that perhaps has been slightly diminished by the 2024 verdict.
And we'll be watching that very, very closely and discussing it here with Rajdeep very closely here on India Today. Rajdeep, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. Of course, there's a big storm that's raging in Parliament on emergency. So soon after he was elected as Speaker, Om Birla asked members of Parliament to observe 2 minutes silence for those who'd suffered during emergency that had been imposed by then Prime Minister late Indira Gandhi, and all that happened during the emergency, he said, was dictatorship. That was truly dictatorship. The Congress hit back saying what's happening now is actually undeclared emergency.
Shri Om Birla is declared elected as the Speaker of this House.
Om Birla is back in the Speaker's chair in the Lok Sabha, becoming only the second presiding officer to return after having served a full term after Congress's Balram Jakhar. The NDA candidate won against opposition's K. Suresh after a voice note.
Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it.
In a rare moment of bonhomie, the Prime Minister, newly appointed LOP, then escorted Om Birla to the Speaker's chair.
आपके चेयर है, आप संभालें. Please.
आपकी अध्यक्षता में संसद में जो ऐतिहासिक निर्णय हुए हैं, आपकी अध्यक्षता में सदन के माध्यम से जो सुधार हुए हैं, ये अपने आप में एक सदन की भी और आपकी भी विरासत है.
The opposition, however, had some terse words for Om Birla.
Speaker sir, it is very important that cooperation happens on the basis of trust. It is very important that the voice of the opposition is allowed to be represented in this House.
आपका अंकुश विपक्ष पे तो रहता ही है, लेकिन आपका अंकुश सत्ता पक्ष पे भी रहे.
150 लोग जब सस्पेंड हुए तो हम सबको बहुत दुख हुआ सर. तो हमारी कोशिश रहेगी कि अगले 5 सालों में इस सस्पेंशन का आप ना सोचे, बातचीत हो सकती है, हमेशा हम डायलॉग के लिए तैयार रहते हैं.
But a storm erupted in Parliament soon after when the Speaker invoked the emergency.
भारत की पहचान पूरी दुनिया में लोकतंत्र की जननी के तौर पर है. भारत में हमेशा लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों और वाद संवाद का समर्थन हुआ. हमेशा लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों की सुरक्षा की, उन्हें हमेशा प्रोत्साहित किया गया. ऐसे भारत पर श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी द्वारा तानाशाही थोप दी गई, भारत के लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को कुचला गया और अभिव्यक्ति की आजादी का गला घोटा गया.
Inside Lok Sabha, the opposition raised slogans in protest. Outside, the BJP staged a big protest.
ये बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक दिन था जब काली इमरजेंसी के 50 साल पूरे हुए. तो आज 18वीं संसद में माननीय स्पीकर साहब ने इस प्रस्ताव के माध्यम से वो सच्चाई रखी. सिर्फ और सिर्फ इंदिरा गांधी की कुर्सी बचाने के लिए ये इमरजेंसी लगाई गई थी.
ये तमाम बीजेपी के लोगों ने जो आज किया है वो दिखावा किया है. ऐसा नहीं कि केवल उस समय वही जेल गए हों. समाजवादी नेता और समाजवादी उस समय के जितने जनता पार्टी या तमाम नेताओं ने भी उस समय को देखा. लेकिन हम पीछे मुड़ के कितना देखें, हम पास्ट को कितना देखें, भविष्य हमारे सामने क्या है.
After Om Birla's statement in the House, Prime Minister Modi to put out a message thanking him for speaking on the emergency. He also attacked the Gandhis and the Congress, saying that the emergency era exemplified dictatorship. The Parliament showdown is only set to escalate. With Piyush Mishra, Mausami Singh and Ashutosh, Bureau Report, India Today.
So day one of Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition. Is the stage set for the battle post the Speaker's election? The opposition, of course, had their own candidate, but they did not press for division of votes when Om Birla was elected by voice vote. Earlier, the Trinamool Congress said they were not even consulted on the opposition's candidate choice, K. Suresh. Of course, Rahul Gandhi reached out to Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee. But what are all these signals indicating? Joining me on this special broadcast is senior journalist Javed Ansari. He's covered the Congress for a very long time. Shantanu Gupta is a political analyst and author. R.P. Singh is national spokesperson of the BJP. Manisha Priyam is a very well-respected political analyst. And Javed, I want to begin by asking you, sir, is the stage set for perhaps that big battle? Om Birla, re-elected by voice vote. Jairam Ramesh spoke of spirit of consensus and cooperation. Sir, I want to understand, are these not conflicting signals that come from the opposition? First, that stage set for the battle for speaker, and then talk about consensus and cooperation.
Well, they first spoke of consensus, and then because the government refused that offer, they went in for a confrontation. I've covered Parliament for 40 years, and this is perhaps only the second time I'm seeing when the Deputy Speaker's post has been denied to the opposition. It traditionally goes to the opposition. And that's the trade-off. I once asked Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and who can be a better example of parliamentarianism and all that was good about parliamentary than Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And he says, look, there are no free lunches. Our Speaker...
No, sir, but my question to you is about why did the opposition not insist on division of votes?
Because this was symbolic.
It's a symbolic fight.
They were making a point. They were making a point, and they made it. The numbers stare you in the face. It was never, nobody in their wildest dreams ever imagined that the BJP would lose the speakership election. They knew the numbers were there. They wanted to make a point, and they made it.
Okay. R.P. Singh, the opposition wants to start with a spirit of consensus and cooperation. That's what Jairam Ramesh said. He went on to post that this is the spirit that's lacking both in the PM and the NDA. Why does the BJP see the speaker's election as a setback for the Congress then, sir?
Well, a setback for the first test of the leader of the opposition. You said consensus. They raised their voice against the election of the Om Birla ji. They said yes, they said no. It was said who want to support. There were certain member of parliament who said yes, and then who opposes, they said no. But voice vote, they lost. But they ran away from the voting because of reason. Because they were scared that they'll be exposed. They didn't want to be exposed. Mr. Rahul Gandhi would have felt flat. His ego is already gone down. I mean, he was till today morning, before even walking into the parliament, Mr. Kharge was saying that we are contesting election. Please ask your research team to show that video.
Fair enough. Let me take this to Manisha Priyam for her opening comment.
Give me a second. Give me another second. Give me another second.
Go on,
the problem with the the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi is that they are not prepared to accept that they have lost election. They have been given mandate only to sit in opposition, not in the ruling party. And the people have given blessing to Prime Minister Modi to serve them for next 5 years.
Okay. Manisha Priyam, what do you think of what the BJP says? That this was Rahul Gandhi's first test as leader of opposition, set up for a big fight, and then it ended up as a damp squib.
I mean, it's a statement that the BJP will make because the BJP has not realized that the opposition today is not just Rahul Gandhi. It's a combination of forces that are sitting there. And as this parliament will unfurl, the BJP will be hard pressed. I mean, just attacking Rahul Gandhi is fine. It's their political opponent. But look at the speech made by Akhilesh. Look at what Supriya Sule has had to say. Look at the fact that in future, you will have an Ikra Hassan stand up and speak. You will have a Chandrasekhar Azad stand up and speak. So the most tested strategy of the BJP that just go all out against Rahul Gandhi is not going to work for them. They need to do something better than this. The second point is that once, Rajnath Singh ji had reached out, I'm also told that the Parliamentary Affairs Minister had reached out to the Congress party. It was for Rajnath Singh to have dialed back, and some efforts visually should have been seen towards consensus making. Now, once that consensus making is not there, you have to realize Rahul Gandhi is today leading a block of parties, and he is leading what he says, the voice of the people. Now, if he's seen as someone who doesn't take the fight and allows the BJP, which is not on a majority on its own, has the largest numbers to get away with this.
Okay.
That would not be something that would go down very well. So today, Om Birla, by denying him the opportunity of political consensus, is a politically elected speaker by the majority party and those who support the majority. That
Fair
point
enough.
has been made. And I think today on the opening day, it couldn't have been better than this. You saw some bonhomie, the Prime Minister, Rahul Gandhi. When did you last see them in the same picture frame? 2 or 3 people. And this does show that this is a political parliament. Remember, politics is not a bad word. Remember, people put checks on power for everybody.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
That is what you can see in
Shantanu Gupta, this is not just the Congress party. You know, the BJP may attack Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition and say that he did not succeed in the speaker's test. But it's the opposition bloc that came together, and that's the big challenge for the Narendra Modi government and the treasury benches.
I think, Gaurav, the question is, did the opposition come together or not? And we have seen that on the day one. Apart from the crispy kurta, I think the pomp and show that a lot of cheerleaders of Rahul Gandhi has created in media, the hype, I think it was quite a damn show. See, first day, what he's doing? First day as a LOP, he's trying to put a candidate, right, against a normal convention, right? And they're doing, as the other panelists said, they're doing for a symbolic fight. Why the symbolic fight is only there when there is a Dalit candidate? And there is a history of it for Congress. So when K. Suresh is there, then it's a symbolic fight. When Sushil Shinde for vice president, there's a symbolic fight. When Meera Kumar for president election, there's a symbolic fight, right? And whenever Rahul Gandhi is going to LOP, Rahul Gandhi is going to LOP. So I think that's signal number one. Signal number two, why they have not asked for a division. Everyone knows, because I think 7-8 MPs have not taken no, their number will look 220-ish, and here the number will look 300, right? So it's very obvious, and people are very smart. In 24/7 media, people are looking at when you're calling, putting opposition candidate, why are not calling for the divide of vote? And after that, 2 things happened, right? Abhishek Banerjee, after the parliament, in the media bite said, we have asked for the divide, and Jairam Ramesh is saying, no, we have now not asked for the divide. So inside the opposition is not together. And when the emergency thing came, right?
I'll come to the emergency thing in just a moment, sir. I'll come to that in just a moment. But I want to stay on the issue of division of votes for a moment and Trinamool Congress. Javed Ansari, Trinamool Congress said that the Congress had not reached out to them on K. Suresh as the India Alliance choice for Speaker. Sir, does that reflect on Rahul Gandhi and his team? Though as leader of opposition, he did reach out to the TMC before the House assembled. But should this not have been done earlier?
Well, the reason they didn't do it earlier, because there were just 10 minutes left for the deadline to expire. 10 minutes before the deadline to expire to file the nominations. That's the reason they've given. Thereafter, they reached out to Mr. Abhishek Banerjee and subsequently to Mamata Banerjee as well. And when you are leading a coalition, it's always, these frictions will arise. This is the first day, first show. As things get better, they will institutionalize this coordination committee, and perhaps things will get better from now. So therefore, to read into this, the fact that there are fissures and they are falling apart on day one, well, that's not happening. And those who haven't covered Parliament or are ignorant of parliamentary practices will believe that because they didn't press for a division, therefore this is a huge defeat. It doesn't happen. Parliament doesn't function like this. You don't press for a division on every count. There are times when things are passed by voice vote. In fact, the budget has been passed a lot of times without division.
Okay, Shandu, just let Javed complete his point. I'll come to you in just a moment. Javed Saab, complete your point, sir.
So the point I was making is they wanted to make a point, they've made it. Okay. So let's not read too much into this as if there's a huge defeat. The numbers are there for everyone to see. The BJP is a minority government with majority support, and that ensures in Parliament.
Okay, Shantanu, you wanted to rebut, and RP Singh wants to come in after that.
I think I'm just continuing my point. So one is that, like, you're putting a candidate, a Dalit candidate for symbolism. That's something very loud and clear. Secondly, for some reason, you're one of the major alliance. I don't know TMC's alliance or not, because anyway they fought. So, India Alliance fought 60 seats against each other. So are they not? It's very visible in the Parliament. Abhishek Banerjee, just outside the Parliament, saying, we asked for vote. Jairam Ramesh saying, we did not ask for the vote. And also, when the emergency resolution thing came, right, a lot of Congress people stood and started shouting. Akhilesh Yadav was silently sitting because he knew that his father went to jail, right? So the coordination was not happening. So day one, apart from the crispy kurta, I think nothing falling right for Rahul Gandhi.
Okay, Manisha, Priyam, is the BJP then making a mistake, or an analyst making a mistake, if they're looking at Rahul Gandhi only perhaps as someone who's changed from a t-shirt to a crispy kurta, or as some of the barbs that have come that he will have to perhaps, one, improve his attendance in Parliament and will have to be more hands-on, ma'am?
No, I think the BJP spokespersons and other important analysts will keep talking about Rahul Gandhi's sartorial choices. So if Rahul Gandhi has to make consensus with the BJP, he must accept the sartorial recommendations coming his way, and he must do exactly as he's told. I'm telling you time and again that the BJP has large numbers but not a majority on its own. True. And the opposition that it faces, as Rahul Gandhi has given you an indicator, represents the voices of people. Remember, on the outgoing parliament, it was the BJP in its majority that did the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. In the incoming parliament, Sanjana Jatav and the many sasses who came on the parliament door in their traditional attire, you ask us what we feel as women today. The representation has deepened. So the point is that if you keep getting stuck in these things, one of the important jobs of political analysts and those who represent the political party on media platforms like this, which are very important for democracy, is to even guide their own party towards where the real political wedges are. And if they go back and tell in their party briefings or in their media briefings, okay, let's look out for what Rahul Gandhi is wearing tomorrow, it's not going to be a very good debate. I think the important points today are that Rahul Gandhi is sitting amidst a committee of federal state level political interests of India, and that's something that the BJP would have really wanted to have on its own side.
Okay.
And if they are able to do that, remember, yes.
RP is saying Rahul Gandhi, while congratulating Speaker Om Birla on his election, made a very big point and very emphatically that the opposition too represents the voice of the people, and it's significantly more this time compared to last time. The Speaker should allow them to speak and defend the Constitution. Sir, clearly is this block of 235 putting the government or the Treasury benches on notice that they cannot ride roughshod like they perhaps stand accused of both in 2014 and 19?
Well, Gaurav, it will depend more on the conduct of the opposition. Whether they are serious about debates, they are serious about subjects, they are serious about discussion in the parliament, or they want to just create ruckus, they want to bring Jantar Mantar to the parliament as they did last time. They got up to the tables, they did bhangra on the tables, they threw the material on the chairs. They are free to do that. I mean, that's what the opposition is. Or they will do threat trick as they have been doing. They brought Shriram, this time they have brought Shriram Theatre to the parliament by showing that copy of the constitution. I mean, I don't understand why to show the copy of the constitution, and that too a abridged version, not the original version of Baba Sahib Ambedkar Sahib. So they have all the right to do what they want to do. It will depend on their conduct.
Okay.
It's not the number. Sorry, give me a second. It's not the number which matters. Even today, was opposition united when complete Congress was getting ruckus on emergency as an issue? Akhilesh Yadav and T.R. Balu stood by the resolution, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi was sandwiched between the two, and he had no option. Otherwise, in a routine, the rest of the he would have gone by the rest of the party. So there is no proper understanding between the opposition also.
Okay.
Aam Aadmi Party, give me another second. Aam Aadmi Party is looking north and Congress looking south. Mamata Banerjee, Abhishek Banerjee, and everyone has said on record, my learned friend who's a journalist.
He's already pointed it out. So, Javed Ansari, will that be a problem? Will that be a problem? Because as LOP, Rahul Gandhi has a huge responsibility on his shoulders. He will have to devote far more time and attention to the task at hand. Sir, his attendance last time was 51%, as against the parliamentary average of about 79%. You've covered the Congress and Parliament for decades. Now, how do you respond to the BJP on his attendance, and how do you see it, especially given you've also seen the Bharat Jodo Yatra and the Nyay Yatra? Is that a trailer of the times ahead?
Look, I don't have to respond to the what Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson says. It's for the Congress Party. But he will certainly, as far as the question of attendance is concerned, he will now certainly have to be present in the House a lot more than he has been in the past. And he will need to learn how to manage contradictions, learn how to keep the entire opposition flock together. It's much easier when you have when you are the single largest party, and when you have 200 plus numbers. It's far more difficult when you have this large conglomeration of parties. So his political management skills will have to come into play. It's not just a question of him wearing a white kurta. There are lots of other things that he'll have to do. He'll have to up his game, and we need to wait and see. He may have performed well today, but he will be judged over how he conducts himself in that job for the next 5 years.
Okay, Manisha Priyam, biggest challenges for Rahul Gandhi in your appreciation in the times to come. Biggest challenges for him.
Biggest challenges is taking everyone together. You need to be aggressive, but also be flexible. You know which battles to fight and which not to fight beyond the point.
Fair enough. Manisha Priyam.
So there is a contradiction of sorts. Rahul Gandhi in the t-shirt was a man who was on the streets, had been walking the mile, and had definitely succeeded in creating a political narrative and mobilizing, as he said, the voices of the people, especially the poor, and he named out social categories that were included there. Now with this role of his, he will have a sort of an administrative role, and he will need to be seen in the House. So when the states go forward to elections, how will he then transition out from this role, which is a role that comes with certain responsibility within the House, out on the streets? That's not going to be very easy for him to transition between this and that. That's contradiction, our challenge number one. The second and more important point is that unless he really has some thoughts about how to revive the Congress party in the heartland, he will be seen, first time around there's a novelty value, but he will be seen as a person who's leaning on the shoulders of the Samajwadis or erstwhile Samajwadis to get him whatever he can cobble together from the Hindi heartland. It means a lot. The South has been having very steady performances.
Yes.
With Mamata Banerjee also, I believe he has a great personal equation. But some revival in the states that his party held on its own is extremely important. The third and most important is that the BJP, as you can see, will continue with targeting him singly. Now, he needs to have that cool mind and not respond to any of that, because I believe that if the BJP is going to just keep doing that in some time, and if he does not respond, that steam engine will run out of any energy.
And that's a story we're tracking very, very closely. After the Enforcement Directorate, the Central Bureau of Investigation has now arrested Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal has now been remanded to 3 days in CBI custody. The agency had sought 5 days. The investigating agency has made some damning allegations, including claiming that they have found a 44.5 crore rupees scam money trail that was routed through Hawala for Goa elections. Up Legal Bureau with this report.
It is a double whammy for Arvind Kejriwal. After the Enforcement Directorate, the Central Bureau of Investigation has now arrested the Delhi Chief Minister in the Liquor Gate case. CBI made explosive revelations in court. The CBI has got 3-day custody of the Delhi Chief Minister after high drama in court. The investigating agency says that the Delhi Chief Minister expedited excise policy approval during the pandemic. It also claims that Kejriwal's PA Bibhav Kumar booked the guest house in Delhi for the South Cartel. Importantly, the CBI has alleged that 44.54 crore scam money was routed through Hawala for Goa Assembly elections. The agency also says that it was Kejriwal's deputy, Manish Sisodia's office, that enhanced the liquor profit margins for wholesalers from 5% to 12%. The big courtroom face-off erupted after CBI claimed that Kejriwal had put the entire onus of the scam on Manish Sisodia. CBI alleged that Kejriwal had told the agency that it was Sisodia's idea to privatize the sale of liquor in Delhi and not his. This claim is denied by Kejriwal and the court itself. the Aam Aadmi Party's crying conspiracy. The Chief Minister's wife took to social media to call her husband's CBI arrest an example of emergency.
आज सुबह CBI ने अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को अरेस्ट किया। वो चाहते थे कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की कस्टोडियल इंटरोगेशन हो, उसकी इजाजत लेने के लिए उन्होंने कोर्ट के सामने पेश किया। पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है कि कोर्ट के सामने कोर्ट के जज ने खुद ये माना कि CBI जो कह रहा है और जो प्रमाण उसके पास है उसमें कोई तालमेल नहीं है।
But the BJP is gunning for the Delhi Chief Minister.
आम आदमी पार्टी ने अपना स्वार्थ सुधारने के लिए उसी पार्टी के साथ गठबंधन कर लिया, इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस के साथ, जिसने CBI की जांच मांगी थी माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के खिलाफ। अब CBI ने अरेस्ट करा है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को। कानूनी प्रक्रिया चलेगी, जांच चलेगी।
तो नई एक्साइज पॉलिसी जिसको दिल्ली सरकार के मंत्रिमंडल ने मंजूरी दी थी, उस बैठक की अध्यक्षता अरविंद केजरीवाल ने की थी, तो अरविंद केजरीवाल ही इसके मुख्य सरगना है।
Jail, bail and arrest. Arvind Kejriwal's legal tangle is only getting worse. Bureau Report, India Today.
Huge claims made by the Central Bureau of Investigation now and by the Enforcement Directorate earlier, but is there corroborative evidence, especially this conversation about a 44.5 crore rupee money trail to Goa? Nalini Sharma is India Today's legal editor. She joins me on the broadcast. Also with me is RP Singh of the BJP and Ravi Srivastava is a political analyst. But Nalini, to you first. Does the CBI have corroborative evidence of this 44.5 crore rupee claim?
Well, Gaurav, we've only seen a small part of what CBI's case is play out before the court today. But what we are given to understand is that a large part of the case, similar to ED's case, is based on the statements that have been given by others who've named Arvind Kejriwal, who've said that Arvind Kejriwal was part of not only the formulation of the entire liquor policy, but also was responsible for receiving the kickbacks that he got. So although the CBI case is going to be revealed in the coming days, because so far Arvind Kejriwal was not an accused in the CBI case. In fact, there has been no CBI charge sheet that has been filed naming him an accused. But today the
in none of the 4 charge sheets so far?
None of the 4 charge sheets. By the CBI has he been named as an accused. By the ED, of course, he has. But the CBI has told court today that it plans on completing the investigation by July. It's also going to file a fresh charge sheet. So depending on what the investigation goes like, right now when Arvind Kejriwal is in custody, the CBI will take a call on whether or not Arvind Kejriwal will be a named accused in the case or not.
Oh, very interesting. Ravi Srivastava, the Aam Aadmi Party may claim it's political vendetta. The Enforcement Directorate has called Arvind Kejriwal the kingpin of the Liquorgate scam. They claim it's over 100 crore rupees. The CBI says there is corroborative evidence or words to that effect of 44.5 crore money trail to Goa.
Gaurav, good evening. The whole case is totally fabricated, concocted and on baseless kind of arguments. Now, this will not stand as scrutiny of law. Today, you have seen in the court how the CBI was exposed, making the headline management with the media channels, saying that he has already transferred all the responsibility on Manish Sisodia's shoulders. So I think those kind of things, and where judge himself made the remark that there is no such a statement made. I think it is shameful for a so-called premier investigative agency to come out with this kind of damning statements anywhere.
Okay, RP Singh, respond to the Aam Aadmi Party insisting this is political vendetta, this is dictatorship, and there isn't an iota of evidence that's been produced in courts of law.
Well, had the CBI or ED not produced an iota of evidence, then why court would have quashed his bail also? And what was the section passed by the court? Let me just read out on the Justice Sudhir Kumar Jain. He said the malafide intention on the part of the ED was incorrect. The court had previously dismissed a similar claim made by Kejriwal in earlier ruling. Okay, this is one part. Then he also said that the vacation judge had not provided the enforcement director ED sufficient opportunity to present their case. The primary petitions allegations required meticulous consideration by the court. Further, the court noted that the trial court order was inadequate, discussed the mandatory condition under the PML. Now, this is one part. Now, coming to the part of the CBI, let me read out something more for you. I'm reading out certain names. Statement of Mr. Ashok Patel, Mr. Karanbhai Patel, Mr. Jagdish Sharma reveals that the money which was transferred to Goa came from 4 routes of 12 crore rupees approximately. Ashok Chandu by Mr. Ashish Corporation, Angadiya, 7.1 crore from Devanga Solanki. These are all statements under Section 164, which is there in the court, which is filed in front of magistrate. And this total comes to some 45 odd crore rupees. And also, to whom the money was transferred, give me a second. To whom the money was transferred, even that part has been put on record by the ED. And then also, there's a bank account which has been declared by the ED, which has been mentioned by the ED, where the money was transferred.
Ravi Srivastava, quickly before I bring in Nalini on the second aspect, quickly on this money trail aspect.
I just want to tell my friend from the BJP that nothing has been proved. No charges will stick on Arvind Kejriwal. And this, I am not saying this was the observation of Justice Sanjeev Khanna on 13th October 2023 when he said that no matter this case comes for trial, it will not stand for 2 minutes. He got in the ED case, the bail from the trial court, Justice Bindu gave that order. And the High Court did not cancel the bail. They have only put a stay on it. The cancellation request is due.
Fair enough. Nalini, quickly on that aspect where the CBI said that Kejriwal is blaming Manish Sisodia and both Kejriwal and the court said no. Does that put the CBI on a sticky wicket and on the aspects raised by the BJP here?
Well, Gaurav, first talking about the money trail has been in question in this case from the very beginning, even before Arvind Kejriwal was arrested. By ED's own admission, they have not been able to recover any money, although they claim that 45 crores was received in kickbacks, but all of that money was spent in the Goa elections. So there has been no recovery of money per se. Along with that, what we need to remember is while hearing the Manish Sisodia case, the Supreme Court had made a very stringent observation where they had said that this case will fall flat in 2 minutes during trial if the money trail is not properly established. Having said that, what we need to determine is as to whether or not where the rest 60% of the money, which is almost 60 crores out of the 100 crores that they claim, whether that has been proven or not, whether there is any chain of events or money trail regarding that 60% of the money that has been proven or not. Because while granting him bail, the trial court had specifically said that a major portion of this money has still not been recovered.
And that's a story we'll be tracking very closely. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me.